The world of entertainment is ever expanding, and at the same time crucial to our everyday lives. Ever expanding, because every now and then some genius comes up with an idea that sets out to make the everyday lives of people a bit less monotonous and miserable. Ever expanding, because it's crucial. In these trying times when it has become almost impossible to think of life as something not dreary or boring to death, and this monotony has crept into the only temples of solace we possess, that is, our homes, it has become more crucial than ever to keep discovering newer and newer devices of entertainment and oblivion from this dreadful reality, and plainly have a good time to enjoy oneself. Thankfully, we are living in the 21st century, which among other things can be called as the century of video games. And the video game that has been blowing everyone's minds for the past 7 years is Cyberpunk 2077. The game is a first-person shooter game set in the year 2077 and focuses on a crime-infested place called Night City, where money is the sole purpose of existence and to have it is the ultimate goal at any price. Our player, named as V, in the game goes around the open world as a mercenary, working for gangs, mafias and businessmen, doing their dirty work for his own cost. The game has just been released and is making big breaks, with the critics already acclaiming it on its very first look. The game has had a number of pre-release factors that have contributed majorly to its overwhelming praise in the public spheres as well as the gaming society, which are as follows. Graphics, the first and foremost factor that can be credited for the reason any game ever becomes stuck in a gamer's mind is the graphics. They say, first impression is the last impression, and the proverb very much suits the situation. The initial trailers of any game don't really give away much details regarding the aspects of the game, based upon whom a gamer can determine whether he would like to opt for playing it or not. But the graphics of the game is the singular standalone element that transcends the discrimination of genre, gameplay, story etc. and hooks the viewer, given that it is that mind-blowing at least once when he views them in the trailer. Cyberpunk did this one good, and did not fail its potential players here. The graphics of the game were splendid, considering that they had to create a dystopian metropolis far, far away in the future. To capture all the essence of that imagery and ace it so that it fits perfectly to the viewer's imagination and no effort is required to figure out anything further, is definitely a hard task, but Cyberpunk 2077 passed with flying colors. Marketing and publicity. Okay, so you developed the concept, started working on the game and released the first trailer. The audience is hooked. Now what? Despite all the brilliance and all the excellence any product promises to deliver into the market, the only way the customer buys it if he remembers that it was there in the first place. Hence, marketing and publicity are of grave importance when required to keep the audience in touch with the product, and even here the developers did a sweet job. The game has released a ton of merchandise and collectibles. Not to mention having Warner Brothers, Bandai Namco and Spike Chunsoft as distributors for North America, Europe, Australia, New Zealand and Japan. Also, the game made it big on the Electronic Entertainment Expo 2019, with a gameplay trailer release and Keanu Reeves making an appearance, since he also plays a character by the name of Johnny Silverhand. This was a big event for the game. The idea of the success and effectiveness of the game's marketing can be imagined from the fact that prior to its release, the game won over 100 awards, including the Game of the Year award and the People's Choice Award. Moreover, the game went on to garner 8 million pre-orders on all platforms, hence breaking the all-time record for the most pre-orders, previously belonging to Grand Theft Auto 5 by Rockstar Games. Release and responses. Since its release, the game has been played by many gaming reviewers and streamers on various video streaming platforms and has received somewhat mixed reviews despite having been released with an unimaginable amount of buzz and gossip already among the people. Though the ratings are in no way bad, with most ratings ranging from 90 to 100 upon release, there has been a repetitive complaint that the game did not live up to the promise it had manifested. Another thing that added fuel to the fire was that the game showed many bugs and glitches during first play, but that, according to the gamers, is not an anomaly and can be discarded as a demerit. Although in this case, what was expected to be the biggest cannon of the arsenal turned out to be the center of the most bitter criticism for the game. Turns out that the trailers were too brilliant for their own good. It is not that the graphics were bad, the players showed breach of trust, stating that they weren't nearly as good as the trailers showed them to be. Among other things, the gameplay was defined as more complex due to being extensive, and some reviewers advised the gamers to check out the full customizable instructions and play the game out for a bit in order to enjoy the game to its full potential. Other than these two aspects, there was all praise, from the immersive storytelling perspective of the game to the wide range of options and actual freedom of choice in the open world, rather than the limitation of quest-to-quest gameplay. The design of the cyberpunk universe, the ambience, and the effects were deemed as enchanting and captivating. It is safe to say that despite having had a rough start, the public inclination still lies in favor of the game due to the numerous possibilities that still present themselves in the event of the people themselves opting to try out the game, and that the initial opinions never guarantee to stay the same in the long run, with the verdict becoming more and more meticulous in this case, rather than ambiguous, as more and more opinions continue to add to the pool. And if none of the above factors play out, what's the harm in spending some time in a free world to roam around exercising or exploiting the free will to pass this deaded time inflicted upon us? Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, like, comment if you haven't already. Meet you with the new video.